Tell All Podcast was created as a platform for support, awareness, community. It's a safe place where individuals can discuss hard topics, life-changing situations that plague our community, and touch on topics including, but not limited to, silicone removal, cosmetic surgeries, relationships, urban culture, and more.
Tell All exercises its right to have open dialogue and educate, but does not constitute advice or services. We are not providing professional advice from the podcast or the guests and is for private, non-commercial use only.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the Tell All Podcast with your girl JB
And Brenda Lee.
Hey.
That's the intro for me.
It's definitely the intro. So
On today,
this is our first podcast,
Hey,
guys.
first podcast. Give it up.
So we are hyped. We are here to share some very important business with you all.
Bing bang.
Which is why it's called the Tell All Podcast, because we are here to tell it all.
Tell it
you
all.
hear me?
Hey yo.
Tell it all, the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
So help us go.
All right.
Yes. So my name is JB, and we created this podcast, myself and Brenda Lee,
Yes.
to really just talk a lot about our journey and what we've gone through.
Right.
This is something that we are happy to be on the podcast to say that we are officially silicone free.
Silicone free.
High five, girlfriend.
Yes. You'll hear a lot of girlfriends
Girlfriend.
throughout the podcast.
Because we love that for us.
Yes, we do.
So, let's get into the meat and the potatoes.
Not the meat. Definitely the potatoes.
All right, we'll leave the meat out. We'll be vegan tonight.
We'll be vegan tonight.
Okay, that's
Bing
no
bang.
problem. Vegan it is, girl.
Vegan. So let's just go into why we started this podcast and actually what the podcast is about, because it is definitely going to talk about the ugly, the very ugly truth of surgeries and silicone removal and a bunch of other little tidbits, but it's also going to have conversation pieces about real life, real topics, stuff that people are thinking, probably not saying.
Well, we're definitely going to say it here.
Yes.
Because we're here to tell it all.
All.
And we do mean all.
Yes, all of it.
Okay?
So go ahead, get started, girlfriend. Let them know who you are, who you is.
Oh, God. Who am I? I am JB. I am from the city of Chester. Chester in the house.
Chester in the house. Shout out to Chester.
Hey, go Chester.
Right.
Clippers, okay. We got that Clipper pride, that sea pride.
That's the pride.
So, yeah, I am a mother of one.
Correct.
And he is 15, and it's a lot to tell all about that one.
Yes.
Those teenage years, oh my gosh, if you're in it, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Been there, done that.
You know, I have a shirt that actually says, I have a teenager, send help.
Send help, please, right now.
Send help.
Yes.
No, but he's actually a great kid. I
He is.
can't complain about that at all. He does great in school. He's very athletic, so I'm happy about that. In terms of me, I actually work and act as a model and an actress.
Yes, you are a good one at that.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I
Beautiful.
actually just got cast to do a voiceover for a commercial.
Yay.
Yes. Okay.
Shout out to you, boo.
And a cartoon.
And the cartoon.
Yeah, so I'm hype about that. I can't wait to
Right.
do the cartoon.
That's going to be
I'm
awesome.
very silly naturally, so
Right.
me in a booth, like
Yes.
playing a character
Mhm.
as a cartoon,
That's gonna
and
be
you're
dope.
extra animated. Oh, that's going to be hilarious.
That's
I
gonna be
cannot
dope.
wait. So yeah, I do that, and then I actually have a degree in paralegal studies. I have a degree in criminology and sociology. So a girl is out here. A girl is well informed and
Yes.
knowledgeable.
Boss B.
So yeah, not to mention something very special is brewing and in the making right now.
Yes.
For both myself and Brenda Lee, we are having a book come out in June
Yay.
about our journey. So definitely look out for that. We'll be, definitely keeping you guys informed.
That's right.
As we get closer to the release date.
We definitely will keep them informed.
Absolutely. So that's a little bit about me. Oh, I'm very silly. I actually just got comfortable with sharing and showing my silly side because usually I'm very reserved and very professional. But lately I've been loose. I'm like, hey, I like the way you move.
Yes.
Slide, okay?
Yes.
So I mean, I've been just living life.
And I get the pleasure to see that every day. I mean, on the phone, in person.
Okay, well, I can't wait for you to introduce yourself because there's been many a night that you have kept me up laughing till 4 a.m.
That's
so
only
I'm
for the
not
special folks, though.
I'm not the only silly person around.
So, like you, obviously, I'm from Chester.
Chester,
what up?
represent.
Definitely. Mother of 3. I am a finance professional, new author.
Yes, indeed.
I am a MBA holder.
Yes,
A
baby.
business management, that is.
All right.
And a lady who actually got rid of her lady lumps.
Yeah, I got rid of mine
I had to get rid of the lady lumps. But all in all, just a dope soul. You'll get to see that play out hopefully on this podcast. And actually, we're both silicone survivors.
Absolutely.
So, shout out to everyone out there who did their research and went through the process. We're here with you.
Yeah, absolutely. We are here to sign, seal, and deliver your verdict. Because we've been through it too.
Right. But no, definitely. So we're going to open up the forum basically today, speaking and discussing all things silicone. So that's our main focus for today. We'll definitely get into that. And then we're going to cut into other topics and areas and things of that nature. So let's get started.
Absolutely. So for me, let's see. In 2008, I want to say I got my first round of silicone shots.
Right.
It was done in a hotel room.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so it was just a whole bunch going on at the time.
It was.
So I always had a very small frame. So for me to do like a fat transfer is what it was called at the time.
Right.
I didn't have any fat to transfer. They looking at me like,
small.
yeah, no, mm-mm.
Petite one.
Very petite. And then I didn't want to do butt implants.
Hell no, that was so hard. It
Well,
looks rough.
Not only that, I saw butt implants in a particular girl and they just did not look right.
Did it move?
It moved, yes.
Did it jiggle?
No, it literally looked like 2 breast implants.
Right, so that's why I would never do that.
So that's why I didn't do it that
Okay,
way. I was
okay.
like, ooh, that's not, I wouldn't be able to
Girl,
do that
no.
whatsoever. So I was going to Onyx, the strip club, and it was plenty of booty everywhere.
Everywhere.
So I saw someone that I knew, and I asked her because I knew she never had a butt like that. So I was like, girl, let's talk. Where you get that butt from?
Yes.
And she told me, and I said, oh, I'm coming along for the ride next time.
Okay.
And I did. And I was in a hotel room with a Poland Spring water bottle filled with silicone.
So how did she get the silicone solution into the syringe?
So what she did was she poured it into a plastic cup, like a clean plastic cup. She did rip it out.
Okay.
She had clean needles, so she got that.
Right.
But then it got interesting once she started to inject the silicone. She was using cotton balls and crazy glue to keep it together.
Right, to seal it at the
To
end.
seal
After she
it.
injected you, she
Correct.
then put the crazy glue and then put the cotton ball on top.
Correct.
Right.
And that's how I had to stay for the duration of the day. I think by the end of the night, I was able to take them off and shower.
I thought it was like 24 hours.
Well, she didn't tell me 24 hours.
She told me 24 hours.
She told me to just keep it in throughout the duration of the day.
Okay. Did you?
We did,
We
yeah.
did go to the same person. Yep. Definitely.
So then like I got it done, and the next day it was like instant gratification for me. I was like, oh, like this is actually pretty nice. Like, ooh, look at this. Minus the million needles, puncture wounds that I had endured. Right. So I'm like, oh wow. I'm like, okay, this is nice. Once these puncture wounds heal, I should be pretty good. And then I actually started feeling myself. I'm like, okay, I like this. But then I realized that my waist, hip, and butt ratio was not even.
Was that immediately you noticed that?
I did notice that immediately.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, I wonder if the girl's going to go again so I can go again with her.
To get my hips done.
Got
you.
And I guess she was getting like a discount or something for bringing me along.
Right.
So I went again, got my hips done, and I was actually satisfied with that. And I was like, okay, cool. But one of the interesting things that I asked about was, how do I remove this if I don't want it anymore? She told me to just liposuction it, which I found later on in life that was the worst thing to ever do.
That's a no-go.
Yeah. So I initially did that, but that's pretty much my story and how I got into it. And afterward, I loved it.
So similarly to you, I had the same situation. We went to the same person. Obviously, we didn't know each other at the time.
Not at all.
But we had a mutual friend that took us and definitely gave him the money. So the whole rundown is you go to the hotel, you meet in the main lobby. So we ended up so mine was $1,000. So for $1,000, I went in, I sat at the bar, me and my girlfriend, and we gave the guy the money. So we hand off the money, like, here you go, sir. He goes, okay, I'll be back. So he goes upstairs, he gives the money to whoever the person was that gave me the shots. So we then go upstairs. My girlfriend, who I went with, had already had maybe 2 rounds prior to. So this might have been her second or third round. So she already knew, she was hip to the game. Me, I'm going in there like, oh, I'm about to bare my bare cheeks, these little cheeks to this stranger and shit. That was more worried about showing my ass to a stranger than I was to, get the shot. So I go, and she goes first, and I'm like, okay, I didn't want to see it. She was like, you'll be fine. So I go and I lay down. I still remember it was like dim lights, and it was the white sheets. The hotel sheets. It was some good plush ones because it was a 5-star hotel. I will give her that.
Okay,
so
that's
it was a 5-star. We didn't get cookies and milk, but if you know why I'm saying that. But,
exactly.
So I lay down, and she pulls out different syringes. So unlike you, I didn't see it. It was already pre-filled. The syringes were pre-filled. She pulled out. She was like, you're going to get, I want to say 12 shots. So 6 and 6 in each side. So 3 on the top, 3 in the middle, 3 at the bottom, just on my ass cheeks. And as she hit the first one, when she went in and she started to inject me with the solution, girl, when I say that was the worst pain ever. Did you have that, the burning sensation?
I had the burning sensation. I could feel it, like being injected.
Yes.
And then when she took it out, it almost felt like somebody taking a needle out of like an orange. It had like this boop sound. Like.
Listen, so yes, with that, it was just like, damn, I feel this burning. After the first one, I'm like, so let me take it. Because she already put one in. I'm not going to let her waste all this, silicone or whatever. I'm like, put that shit in. So she goes and she gives me like the 12 shots. So 6 on one side, 6 on the other, straight to the butt cheeks, not on the hips or anything like that. So I get up, but before I get up, she puts the, what is it?
You had the cotton balls with the crazy glue as well?
Crazy glue, right. So she hits me with the crazy glue, and I'm like, why the hell is she putting crazy glue on but it was to close the wound or whatever. I'm like, put a Band-Aid. But no, it would have seeped out anyway.
It would have leaked out. So another girl that got it done, hers leaked out. Like, they didn't put any, like, crazy glue on her.
That's crazy.
But now the hell I think about it, we're crazy.
That's why they hit us with crazy glue. It was necessary. Crazy. Here goes some crazy glue. So, so after that, we get in a car. So we had a van. Okay. So after that, I'm like walking. I'm in pain. I'm like, damn, this shit is crazy. I get up. I put that on. I don't really notice anything. And I did it unbeknownst to my husband at the time. You understand? So, we were going through some challenges in our marriage or whatever, and I knew he wasn't going to be home during that weekend or whatever, and I wouldn't see him till the following. So I figured, all these little holes will subside and so on and so forth. So I remember driving home. It was about 4 of us in the van or whatever, the minivan. And I laid on my stomach because you couldn't sit on your butt. She said you have to leave it on there for 24 hours and, you know, don't wet it, don't do anything, let it just close up. And then we're driving home and I'm laying on my stomach and I'm like, fuck, this is so painful. And the funny thing is, right, so then the following weekend, we took pictures. So this is a true story. We took pictures of before and after. It wasn't really much of a difference, but I felt a little something. And, you know, kind of like a placebo. You take a pill and you think, oh, I feel better, like my headache's gone or whatever, and maybe it's nothing. So that's how I kind of felt. The following weekend, I let myself heal. I stayed in the crib for like a week. The following weekend, my husband come home, and we about to get it in. So here I go. Oh, okay, I'm doing a little sexy sachet into the room. I'm feeling myself. I'm like, in the dark though, but my silhouette was showing a little bit. We go in, we get it in. I'm like, yeah, you know this ass fat, right? Like now I'm talking big shit. Right. I'm talking big shit. I'm like, yeah, you want me to throw this fat ass back on you? I'm like, where this coming from? Okay, he taking it. Right. Literally the next day, for whatever reason, he was like, he went to go get the camera. When he went to go get the camera, he found the images and he came up to me and he was like, what's this? You got something you want to tell me?
Oh.
No wonder you was just acting all extra. And so I'm like, I was like Casper the Ghost.
Oh my
frozen,
God.
like, oh shit. He was like, I'm done. So we actually ended up, you know, breaking up over it for a couple weeks.
Wow.
Because he was definitely anti surgeries and all this stuff. So it was just like, damn. So, but, you know, in hindsight, it was like, duh, this was because of you. Because I went through your camera and I seen that you had big booty holes in your phone.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, not your phone, the camera. So I'm like, wait a minute, this is what you wanted. He's like, no. So then that's a whole nother situation where a man may lust after women with big butts, but doesn't mean that they'll wife them or want them or whatever. They're just men. And so,
you know what? It's interesting you say that because I actually was fine with my frame. I didn't have any issues with a butt. I wanted breasts after having my son because I nursed and went flat jack. Very flat jack.
Right. That happens.
I went from a natural C to a double D to a saggy A, so I told the doctor to throw some D's on it.
Throw some D's on it.
So that was my only concern. I'm like, I'm young. I don't want any flat breasts. Like, I didn't want that for me at 23.
Right.
So that was my only concern. But my son's father kept telling me, oh, you need a butt. You have a flat butt. You don't have a butt and all of this. So I'm like,
oh, yeah, that'll play with your eat.
It started messing with me. I never really looked at my butt like, oh, I need a huge butt. Like, no, I was small frame.
Right.
But after a while, after he kept saying something, and true story, I called myself surprising him with these butt pads on, right? So I fly. He was in Puerto Rico at the time, so I'm flying to Puerto Rico with these goddamn butt pads on. First of all, the butt pads was like sitting outside of my jeans, and I had on a tight tank top shirt. Didn't know.
Oh my God.
Feeling myself with these damn butt pads on with this tank top.
Right.
And everybody kept staring and looking, and I'm like, oh, they looking at my butt. No. no. They looking at the butt pads sitting outside my jeans.
That was super embarrassing.
Talk about embarrassing, yo. I was like, okay, no more. The butt pads isn't working.
Right.
So then once I found out about the girl getting the injections, that's why I was like, oh, well, I can do injections and sign me up. But initially, I would not have even wanted that if it wasn't for him giving me an insecurity.
Oh, man. Insecurities.
And hold on. The funny thing about that is ever since dating me, after that, every woman has been up and down the way I was initially. So you didn't know what you really wanted. You put this on me.
Right. He projected that on you.
Correct. And then I almost lost my life as a result.
Absolutely.
Fuck your life.
Yep, basically.
Bing bong.
Bing bong.
I hate that for you, girlfriend.
I hate that for me too. So it was just like, men need to know what they want. Like, your husband was looking at women with big butts on his camera.
It wasn't even just big butts though. It was like real thick, and I was petite and small. So
so thick women with big
it was
butts.
like really thick. Okay, so Pinky was on there too. He had a picture of Pinky.
Oh,
So,
damn.
shout out to Pinky.
I know, right? Listen.
She on a lot of
She on a
men's
lot
hit
of phones.
list. Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
So no, yeah, definitely her. But it was other people like that he had told to cock over prior to our marriage and our relationship. It was just old, kind of like the keepsake. Let me refer to this when I want to look at some old booties that I used to have. So I'm like, okay.
Okay,
I'm
got
gonna
you.
give you some new booty. I want it to be Miss New Booty.
Right.
You know?
Hey, Miss New
So,
Booty.
I went ahead and did what I had to do. But you know,
Okay.
ultimately it didn't matter because it was something that again too was projected on me. So prior to that I was like, oh, I'm beautiful, I'm young, I'm vibrant. You know, I had my pick of the litter. So
So let me ask you this. So why do you think that he had such an adverse effect to you actually getting the injections?
So I believe that not just for him, but men in general, it's like this. It's like, I know I have a beautiful woman, you know, I know she's this, I know she's that. However, I don't want other men to look at her like that. Most men, like some men are confident and comfortable with that, but I think if their woman is getting too much attention, then it's like, nah, like let me simmer you down, sis. But ultimately, it's a how can I put it? For my husband, then we'll speak directly about him. He didn't want me to have that much more attention. You know, he was the type that if someone looked at me, he felt some type of way. You know, what is he looking at? That type of guy. So naturally, for me to have a big butt on top of being pretty and dressing nice, and you know, that was just an added like no for him. Like absolutely not. What are
Gotcha.
y'all? You know, just. He was scared that I guess possibly he may lose me, like most men. Like anybody who gets surgery and they're dealing with someone, the first thing that a man gonna think is, damn, when she get her body done, this girl gonna leave me.
Right.
The ball is gonna come out. They're gonna roll out the red carpet for you. Like they're gonna say any and everything to get with you, and then you know they, Mr. Steal your girl.
I feel like they enjoy it at first, but then when you get the attention, that's when it's like, ooh, wait, hold up.
I think they enjoy you, like they want to give you the attention, right? So if others are giving it to you, it's a possibility that you might like it and entertain that, and then they lose you.
Right.
So you know that's a big deal for them.
That is a big
I know
deal.
I've spoken to different like male friends, and they've definitely had the opportunity to date women with silicone and or enhanced bodies.
Okay.
And they turn around and they are bothered when the woman is getting all that attention.
Yeah.
It's a drug. Attention is a drug at this point.
Yeah.
With social media and everything, you know, it's like, how many likes can I get? How many DMs can I get? Let me have my pick.
Oh yeah, social media now, like it wasn't.
We had no social media back then.
Yeah,
It was
back then
MySpace.
it was just.
It wasn't about nothing.
Yeah, it was just about whoever see me on South Street in Chester at the games.
At the game, at the Clipper game.
In Miami, because you know you was always
right.
going to Miami. Like everybody was
Exactly.
going to Miami,
It's
so it was
staying
like there. But now with social media having such a heavy presence in our lives today, yeah, it's like you're global now.
Right. So, but if you could take one thing away from this experience, what would it be?
Meeting you, my friend.
Aww. No, forget the high five. That's my friend. I love you.
Yes,
Right.
because at the end of the day, when you are going through removal and something so scary, and
Right.
at the time nobody knew what it was and what effects it could have on your body, the fact that you have like a community that you can converse with and, you know, just throw different ideas at and find out what doctor does what and just get the information from, it just makes the journey so much better.
Right, it does. I agree. Like, I don't know how I would be on this journey without you, girlfriend.
Oh, thank you. Likewise.
Definitely. It's like my little angel. Girlfriend.
Thank you so much
But-
for getting teary-eyed.
No teary eyes. But really, like, being able to, like, talk to you about what we're going through or what I'm going to go through was, like, an added bonus for me. If I was going through it and didn't know to prepare mentally, like, it would have just been like, oh, okay, I'm not going to have a butt. or my butt's not going to be as big. But it was actually like are you physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually prepared for this?
Yeah.
And, even with, we'll get into that at a later time, but just having to talk to a psychiatrist.
A psychiatrist.
Okay, yeah, the psychiatrist. She definitely was like grilling me for like an hour just to ensure that I was mentally ready for the surgery. And had I not been ready and me, give her different responses, my doctor wouldn't have touched me. Like that was a mandatory thing. That thing was $400.
Right. Oh, I believe
it's costly. Like this whole thing is $1,000 to get in, but then to take out hundreds of thousands.
Oh, easily. Very
to
easily.
remove, and not to mention ongoing surgeries that you may not be privy to. Like you think, oh, I'm done, and then here comes another one. No, then the indentations come and the symmetry is off. It's so much that goes into it. So I think that it's very important to get the word out to these young ladies and young men who are dealing with the same similar issues that we're dealing with, being too small and not being able to have enough fat, then going and doing the silicone route. We're not anti-surgery at all because we get surgery. We've had surgery, and I wouldn't be opposed to it again. However, it's going about it in the right way with the medical professional versus someone at the 5-star hotel that I was at.
Exactly. I agree.
Yeah.
Definitely just weighing more of your options and going the legal route, because we went the black market route.
Definitely.
And like I said, finding out later on when I was trying to get this removed, one of the doctors told me, like, if she would have injected me less than a quarter inch to the left,
you would have died.
She would have injected me straight in my heart and I would have died. And I would have left my son motherless.
Right.
Like that stung, that hurt. When I found out about that, I cried in that doctor's office.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, how did I allow someone's insecurity or someone's desire
to drive you to that
to
place.
drive me to a place where I was in a hotel room getting some illegal injections and almost killed myself and left my child motherless? Like, that's a lot to take in. And some people actually did die.
I've heard stories, definitely, and I'm just very thankful that God seen me through it.
Likewise.
And he continues to keep us, because we don't know, honestly, the 20-year, 30-year long-term effect of this. Just trying to find a doctor. It's getting a little more easier now, but you figure even in 2018, 2019, it was maybe a good 4 or 5 solidified doctors that you would allow to do that to you. Dr. Gallerani was one. I did hear about Dr. Muir. It was Dr. Gaskin, a couple doctors, and it's just like going. Actually, me and an old girlfriend of mine's, we had drove to Virginia, and I remember going in there. And he's like, "Oh yeah, I can do this. Just give me $25,000." And it's just like, okay, I'll go. And Dr. Gallerani was like, "Oh, I'm starting off at $20,000." So it's like they want cash. There's no insurance at that time. It was like, how the hell am I going to come up with $20,000? I'm a single mom of 3, and definitely was in school and all of these things. So it was just really, really challenging at the time to really get to the point where I'm like, all right, I got to find another way. And then more research, and then, like you said, Real Self. You was a person that was always on Real Self. I too was on Real Self, trying to figure things out, but that only helps you to a certain extent. And also, when you're on Real Self, people are not responding to you. Like, they post their story and then that's it. And they forget about it. Like, you might have had someone respond to you, but I didn't. I didn't have anyone who came back and said, oh, this is what I'm going through. I'm steady waiting. Someone just had surgery. I'm waiting 2-3 months to see if, how they're doing and what images they have. Because I think that also with social media, there are celebrities who've had the same similar situations, obviously one being, like you said, K. Michelle. And yes, that was publicized and things, but ultimately we didn't see really the middle part. So that's what we're here to discuss, is that middle part of catching infections, of the symmetry being off, of what doctor is going to do what. And, let's talk about going across seas.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
And almost dying. Let's talk about that.
That was a lot, too. So, yeah, when we say that we are here to tell it all, we are here to tell it all, not just, we went here and now look at us now. We're, completely 100% together, because we're not.
No, that's
So we're
true.
still working through the process. Like, it is a process. Please understand it. It is a process. So we're still going through it even now as we sit here today speaking with you.
Right.
But yeah, real self. I actually had people who did reach back out, not to a full extent. It was like, yes, I'm using this doctor. I had the surgery. This is what I'm going through right now. And then crickets.
Right.
So I didn't know how their story ended.
Right.
I just knew the beginning and the middle. I don't know anything about the end.
Right. Okay. So that's why this is so important to
Absolutely.
get out there.
So we just want to thank you guys so much for joining us today. We are definitely going to have a lot more to discuss with you.
Right,
Definitely come back in, and we'll be here to take questions and to answer any calls that may come in.
That's
You
right.
can reach us at 267-908-3166. So if you have any questions, definitely please feel free to call in. We'll be more than happy to address them.
Yes, thank you, everyone.